back. Beautiful, beautiful. Gigi.
Yes.
Nini inakufurahisha?
It's a Monday. New masses I see every other morning, and thankful to God for the opportunity to see another Monday.
New masses are every morning.
Every morning.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Now today we are talking about traffic and criminal court procedures.
Yes.
This is an interesting one. Whether you're a car owner, whether you're not a car owner, whether you're a driver,
passenger,
whether you're a passenger, you've been
motorist,
passenging for a while, whatever it is.
Tuanduthi.
Nduthi gang, like whoever you are, this is important information. I don't know if this is the kind of things they tell you when you go to get your driver's license. I don't know. But just consider this as a very important lesson, because each and every single day we are on the move. Definitely. Each and every single day we are on the roads. It is only right we know how to deal with certain issues, the rules, the regulations, just to make sure we are not on the wrong side of the law.
Definitely. All right. And in studio, we are not alone. We have a legal mind to help us with that very particular conversation. He was here last week, and so he's not a stranger to us. His name is lawyer Joshua Wainaina. And without much ado, allow us to welcome Wakili on set. Karibu sana, sir.
Thank you so much, Gigi. I appreciate. Thank you.
It's an honor to have you. Yet again.
Asante sana.
I thought you had killed it last week with the suits. This morning, ume overdo again. I love your suit.
Thank you so much.
I'm falling in love with your wardrobe now.
We are trying. We are trying.
Oh,
we are trying. Yes.
No
kugeria mali.
That's what we say.
All right.
And I'm glad to be here.
Okay, karibu sana. A brief introduction of yourself maybe for the person who was not here last week.
Yes. Okay, my name is Wainaina Joshua. I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, practicing at Kenotown, that is in Murang'a County. That is where I practice law as an advocate. I am passionate about litigation, land, environment matters, and so on and so forth. I think primarily I am quite passionate about litigation, court process, and all that goes with it. Yes.
Right.
And just to let our fans know and our viewers know, last week we had a conversation about compensation, not work injury related compensation when it comes to work and being employed. Just knowing your rights, knowing that when you are signing that contract, kindly go through it and make sure all the things are well listed. So if maybe you missed it, you can go to YouTube. You'll be able to see that particular interview, which was on work injury compensation. But I think it's about time we actually began to have now today's conversation. And why are traffic and criminal court procedures, just knowledge about this particular topic, and especially when it comes to traffic rules, rights, regulations, and all things to do, why is it important for us to have this conversation?
Well, one of the things and one of the tenets in justice and criminal justice system, we normally say that ignorance of the law is not defense. Which primarily means that if you ignore the law, if you do not know the law, you cannot come and say that I did this, or I was not able to do this because I did not know. So ignorance is not something that we can deal with as a country and turn our backs against the law and say that we can just live as people who are uncivilized. We are a civilized nation. We are governed by laws, and it is proper and it is prudent for any right-minded citizen to just be able to appreciate what the law says. And so it is quite an important conversation to have when we are delving into traffic and criminal procedure justice system. It is important to have that conversation because it takes away that shell of or that blindness that most people have. Yet these are things that we experience every day, every morning, every evening. You will meet someone along the road while you are traveling back home. They have been involved in an accident. Probably there was someone who committed an offense. So these are things that we they are the most prevalent of offenses, and people who are in conflict with the law are usually because of the very, very minor offenses, and traffic offenses, most of them usually and in particular fall under the minor offenses. Yes.
All right. And now to the day's conversation in terms of traffic offenses.
Yes.
As a lawyer, what are the common traffic offenses that people get arrested with daily?
Well, it's an interesting one, and this in particular, our very good and very supportive, and they contribute really much to our economy, and as a nation they make us thrive and be able to move from one place to the other.
Definitely.
Then do the guys. Let me call them that. And these are people we respect so much and we love them, but they fall within the category of the most prevalent offenses when it comes to traffic, because most of them, if not a good percentage, a good number of them, the one offense that they will always be found with is they do not have a driver's license. So they are not even allowed, they are not supposed to be on the road. That is the most prevalent, because someone is able to purchase a motorcycle, or they are able to purchase a car, or they have their friends or whoever's car and they know to drive, because driving is not rocket science. But just because you know how to drive does not make you a driver. A driver, you must be licensed by the NTSA, so as a driver. So that is one of them. There is obstruction of the road, where a matatu imekuja ikasimama tu along the way, the highway, to just shukisha one or two passengers, or pick a passenger. Obstruction, that's another one. Helmets, reflective jackets, maybe defective maybe tail lights, headlamps. All those are some defects on the when it comes to now the vessel itself, the vehicle, or the motorcycle. Brakes, those are very, very common, but the most prevalent will go with licensing. It will go with obstruction. It will go with overspeeding, drunk and disorderly, DD, no, not drunk and disorderly, driving while under the influence. You are driving and you are drunk. That is another one. We normally see them on TV on Saturdays. In the morning while people are coming back from the weekend, and so those are the most prevalent traffic offenses, but there are many. There's quite a lot of them. Yes.
Na hapo kwanza kwa Nduthi gang, because I think we need to tarry a little bit in that. I don't know if I'm wrong or I don't know. Let's just say I don't know and I want to know.
Yes.
Most of the time when you're about to go hapo kwa zebra crossing, you know, the cars have stood. And sometimes you're trying to go, you think there's obviously no car coming.
Yes.
But all of a sudden you see this bike just passing through.
Yes.
And you know you're not seeing it because it's covered by cars. So Nduthi gang, who are traffic lights, they don't affect them, or what is the issue?
No, they do. It is just that they choose to ignore. They choose to. No, they think it does not apply, because you say what makes it easy, let me quote and quote say it easy for them to break the law, especially on obstruction, because they will be tailgating you. You are not able to see them, and then there is a narrow space, and because it's a motor Nduthi, they will just be able to penya and find their way. But that one does not mean that it does not affect them, or the law is not. It's only that they are not caught, because now before you even raise alarm, but it is dangerous. It's quite risky. We see more often than not that people's side mirrors are knocked off. Someone was probably at the zebra crossing, intending to cross the road. The motor vehicles have stood, and then Nduthi comes and just in a kuguza. Maybe it's not such a serious injury, but still, you know, as a person, human dignity dictates that you should respect every road user. You should respect everyone who is on the road, because you are not alone there. But it applies. It is something, I don't know, it takes, I think it will need a collaborative effort, especially with SACCOs. They should be able to train their motorists that if you are a member of this SACCO, then it is proper for you to know the people you are you are ferrying are the same people you will find at the zebra crossing.
Yes.
The same person, it's the same driver who is in that car that you just hit the side mirror. So let us coexist well. Let us do so amicably. And in a country governed by rules, then just respect the traffic rules. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You know, I'm smiling every time we mention zebra crossing because it reminds me one day. So it was a zebra crossing area, and so as people were crossing, one of the matatu drivers, I think, had not stopped immediately, and so one of the persons who were crossing said, "Ai bana, mbona hii ni zebra crossing?" Yeah, and the driver comfortably and calmly replied, "When we're in zebra."
Yeah.
Anyway,
I didn't see that going that direction.
I know.
Oh,
It was hilarious, but also at the same time, you know. Anyway, so Akili, what is the first thing that one should do when the police, you know, they come and the police say you are under arrest?
Of course, you are under arrest.
Naniko barabarani. I was just minding my
All right, all right.
So you know, with that hand, and then they come,
What do you do?
If we are talking about traffic offenses, most of the time they will not put you under arrest. So if, for instance, your vehicle has not been inspected, and there is an offense you have committed, you are overspeeding, but you are a qualified driver, you are licensed as a driver, most of the time they will not put you under arrest. What they will issue you are court summons. They will summon you to attend court. The court within that jurisdiction. So if you are around Kahawa, they will invite you to attend Kahawa law courts. If you are within Nairobi, probably in the CBD or near the Upper Hill area, they will ask you to go to Milimani. But definitely the first thing they will have to let you know is the reason why, whether they are putting you under arrest or they are summoning you to attend court the following day, or probably if it's on a Friday, on the next Monday, they need to explain why. Because it is your right to know in a language that you understand. If you are Kamba, you don't know English, and you don't, neither do you know Swahili, they should be able to find some Kamba. That is what the law says, that in a language that you understand. So they should explain to you promptly, almost immediately. Because don't take me around in circles. Ati utajulia kwa station. Why are you telling me nitajulia kwa station? Maybe whatever you think nitajulia kwa station, if you only tell me, I will be able to tell you, no. This is just offer a very reasonable explanation, and then instead of wasting so much of your time and wasting my time, then they should be able, or they are required by law to let you know the reason for your arrest, if they are placing you under arrest, if they are summoning you to court for traffic offenses. The most of the traffic offenses, they will not ask you to go to the station. They just issue you with a summons, probably ask you to give in some cash bill, so that they are sure that you will attend court. So you give a cash bill, maybe 5,000, 10,000, depending on the nature of the offense, so that they are sure that it is what will have you come to court. So they need to explain the reason for the arrest or the reason why they are summoning. Once they do that, once you understand, they also need to tell you that it is your right to remain silent. You do not have to talk. If they ask you, umefanya hujafanya, no, you don't have to talk. You can opt and elect to stay silent, and that is your right. And actually, especially in the US, not informing an accused person that it is their right to remain silent means that the process is tainted. And even if you convict that person, they might one day come and appeal the matter and say, no, these people did not tell me that I was supposed, I had, it was my right to remain silent. They should explain to you some of the rights that have been the Bill of Rights in our Constitution has given accused persons or persons who are under the custody of police officers. And finally, the most important, I think, especially for if it's a major offense, your right to legal representation. It is your right. So they should give you a chance. If you have a lawyer you might want to call, an advocate you have on speed dial, just they need to give you that leeway to just call your wakili, because it is your right to have legal representation. Even for the most heinous of crimes. Does not matter whether it's a traffic, it's a minor, it's a major offense, it's a felony, life imprisonment, just one day cleaning the court. It's your right. If you want to go pro max and you are arrested because you did put on your seatbelt and you are saying, I want to call my wakili, they should give you the permission, because it's your right. It's a free country.
I follow up to that, which I think has been prevalent again in the nation. And we have seen incidences, even with Kanjo, the Nairobi City County officers. When I am now arrested, or I'm being flagged down because maybe there was a traffic offense that I committed, and they are telling me 1 and 2, 3 things. Should they onboard my vehicle? Say they want to take me now to Kabete police station. So is that officer allowed to enter my vehicle? Or how should that be? Because you have seen even cases where officer anaingia and then it's a different ball game altogether. So how should we handle that?
Okay. It reminds me of that incident where a lady some time back, I think, I don't know if it was earlier this year in January, when drove a certain officer all the way to, I think, Ngong or Ngong Road. Police officers, mostly you will find them onboarding the vehicles, and it is not really established in the law that be on board the motor vehicle. What you should do, if this person, if the offense they have committed warrants you commandeering that vehicle and taking it, placing it under your custody, maybe with the station, you just escort this motorist to the station. So if you have another vehicle, board your vehicle, let them or ask them follow you to the station. But there might be situations where this person is not even qualified to be a driver. So you don't have a driving license. And you are posing a risk to other motorists. What should happen in that case? The prudent thing should be, we have breakdowns, or have somebody who is licensed and qualified to just take your vehicle to the station. But mara mingi, when we see this happening, it's usually, especially with buses and the madris. And we know what goes on there. It's not really so much as going to the station, but having some room for some conversation between the officer. But it's not neither here nor there for an officer to onboard the vehicle. They just need to ask you, follow us to the station. If they feel you are under the influence, you cannot be able to soberly control the motor vehicle, or you are not licensed as a driver, then you are posing a risk or a danger to other motorists, other road users, then at that point, they can use other mechanisms. Have another driver, have a breakdown, all that. It is there. They should be able to do that. But it is not paramount for them to board your vehicle.
Yes. And I think sometimes when you're told something like that, like you're going maybe to the station and something like that, some people may feel scared and feel, sasa hizi zitakuwa processes refu, so they decide to bribe their way out. We have a lot of cases where that happens. But maybe you can just open our eyes to understanding what does the process look like from when you're flagged and being led to the station and you appearing in court. Is it a complicated process, or is it something that one should even opt for instead of bribing your way out?
Okay. The process is quite simplistic, especially when it comes to traffic offenses. Because more often than not, you will find that most people, especially for traffic offenses, most people have usually committed that offense to be guilty. Although we normally say it's innocent until proven guilty, but more often than not, you'll find that you committed this offense. Maybe you failed to put on a reflective jacket and you are driving your motorcycle. So the process is as easy as they will issue you with summons, because for the majority of traffic offenses, unless it's a person who is extremely under the influence, someone who you do not want to leave on the road, the other offenses, and especially the minor offenses, they will just issue you with court summons. You do not have to spend a day at the police station. You don't need to spend a night there. When they issue you with court summons, you will attend court the next court date. They will let you know which court you are supposed to attend. When you get there, and if they elect to take you to the station, they can give you cash bail, because it's not a paramount for them to give you cash bail on the road. They can just tell you, attend court tomorrow. You didn't have a reflective jacket. That's all. Attend court tomorrow. If they will take your details. They will maybe ask you to hand in your license, or some documentation for you to be able to follow up on the matter. So if they issue with you with summons, you attend court the following day. If they don't issue you with summons, they ask you to go to the station. You go to the station and request for them to give you cash bail. Cash bail means they are releasing you, but there is some amount of money you have deposited with the officer in charge of the station, and so as to secure your release while the matter is pending before court, or while you anticipate to be taken to court. So when you attend court, the charge will be read out to you. So you are charged for contravening the Traffic Act section blah blah blah, this and this, you did this, guilty or not guilty, and you will answer to the charge, I did or I did not do. So if you are guilty, most people for traffic offenses, it's just guilty, and then they will read out the particulars, and once you answer that, the court will give you room to mitigate. Mitigation is where they say that we have found you are guilty, and this offense, maybe the law allows me to fine you a maximum of 10,000. Before I do that, what do you have to say for me to be lenient? So you can be very apologetic. I am sorry. I didn't intend to commit the offense. I didn't know my driver's license was expired. I failed on that one, or I had booked my motor vehicle for inspection, but it was not yet due for the day. The inspection date had not yet arrived. So you explain, and then you plead for leniency, mercy, just because and being on Hope TV, you see, grace prevails over justice, because I think grace is the justice of God impugned on one man, the wrath of God and all the judgment of God on one man. So even in the court, you have room. When you say my Lord, say my Lord, and then follow it up with I am sorry. Nilikosea. But sitarudia. So the judge, once you mitigate, you can even explain your problems. My child was sick. I was trying to rush them to the hospital. I didn't realize I was not probably in the right mental status at that point. I am the sole breadwinner. My mother has been unwell. If you impose such a huge fine, I'm not able to pay up, and I will not repeat again. You explain. You bring all your problems.
To the court.
You are telling the court, yes, it is right. It is proper for you to impose the sentence. But before you do impose that sentence, please consider ile mashida mimi imenisukuma. Ile mashida imenisukuma before you just decide to throw this one to prison, because they will give you a fine, and in the alternative you are not in default, or if you are not able to pay the fine, they will take you to imprisonment before they impose such humongous fines or a punitive custodial sentence. Explain your problems. So if the problems are worth their salt and it's a genuine case, then the magistrate, because for the most of the offenses will go through the magistrate's courts, the lower courts, they will be able to give you a very lenient or and of course don't be a repeat offender because kuna watu tu tena wamezoea anakuja ako kahawa mpaka majaji wanamjua so umekuja tena au umeletwa zile but then there are offenses where you will not plead guilty. And I'm not saying there is a particular set of offenses that you should plead guilty. I'm just saying there is, you did this. And you don't want to waste a lot of time. Because saying that you go through the entire court process in a criminal or a traffic offense, it means that you will be in and out of court. But if you did this act, you committed the offense, plead guilty. If it's not such a serious offense, plead guilty, mitigate, ask for pardon, beg for mercy, let the judge or the magistrate make a determination. But for the very serious ones, maybe you hit somebody on the road and you are charged with causing death by dangerous driving. It is not an easy one, that one. Or you are charged with such a serious offense. Don't just plead guilty. At times you might have done something, but when we look at it critically and legally, you are not guilty. For instance, somebody jumps on the road and they die. So you indeed caused death. But if we can carefully interrogate the facts, it is able to be established through the trial process that as much as we are accusing this person of causing death by dangerous driving, they are not driving dangerously. In fact, this motor vehicle was at 80 kilometers per hour, and it was along this Thika Road highway, where I think the speed limit is up to 110 kilometers per hour. So it was not speeding, and he was not reckless or negligent on the road, but somebody just jumped onto the road, meaning the facts are able to absolve you of any guilt. So do not just plead guilty blindly. Just plead not guilty. And at times saying not guilty does not mean, and it is good to just repeat that, saying you are not guilty does not mean you didn't do the act. But there are what makes it an offense. What you did, yes, you can do something. It's like if you kill somebody in self-defense, this person wanted to kill you. An armed robber comes with a pistol and you strike them on the head without giving it much thought, and they die. You are not guilty of murder, but somebody died. So the facts does not fully, if they must be looked at in a very broad way, such that you do not just plead guilty to an offense that you never committed. So in that case, you plead not guilty and you go through the hearing, the trial. So at that point, what they do once you plead not guilty, they will you will be placed either in custody and in remand prison, but give you an option of bond terms, so that you, as the court process is ongoing, then you are able, you will be attending to your work, you will be in your workplace, you will be at home, but when the court date is given, you attend court. So you are given bond or cash bail and you attend court, you go through trial. Trial is very simple. Somebody will come and say that yes, you did this and this and this, and you are given room to interrogate that person. Because you say, I did this. What is the evidence? Where is the evidence? Did you see me? Did you hear me? Or is this just hearsay? There are people, especially when there are incidents on the road, people who come with all manner of stories. They make up stories. So if you get an advocate for the serious offense, get an advocate, get some good representation, they will be able to fight your way up for you, so that you are not really imposed under such a punitive, or you do not just blindly plead to something that you really didn't do. Yes.
Right. Thank you for that. I think in as far as traffic offences, we are now abreast with what we need to do in case we find ourselves in such situations. Now, if we shift gears kidogo and talk about criminal offences, what does the law define as criminal offences in Kenya especially?
Well, actually, there is a lot of similarity between traffic offenses and criminal offenses, because an offense, criminal traffic, is simply an act that you do. Now in traffic it becomes a traffic actor. So a criminal offense or an offense is any act you do that has been sanctioned, restricted, prohibited by the law, and if you do it or allow it to be done, then it is punishable by law. It is simply doing that which the law says do not do, and for which a punishment has been imposed, or there is a sanction, a criminal sanction against you, that if you do this thing, if you steal, then you are liable for 7 years imprisonment. So that one makes it an offense, a criminal offense. So difference between now the traffic and the criminal is simply that the traffic will be affecting the road usage, especially for drivers, the conductors. Those are the people it affects primarily, the motorists and their conductors and the motor vehicle owners, because it's in relation to traffic. Yes.
Wow.
And what is the court procedure for the criminal offenses? Is it related to the traffic offenses?
It's quite similar. It's quite similar. And perhaps before I get to that, it is also good because we simniruhusu mimi nikuje kotini kesho. So they give you cash bill of 10,000. The money you handed it to who? The officers. So when they take you to court, when tomorrow you meet, you reconvene in the courtroom. As the court proceeds, tell the magistrate that I was out on police bail. So I gave them 10,000. Actually, they normally come with it wrapped, na imeandikwa jina yako. Mtu unaweza pata imestempuliwa pamoja, 10,000, stay put together. Can you confirm you have received your cash bill? Good. Magistrates are very prudent. They will ensure that you get their cash bill even before it proceeds. So at that point, you are now under court custody. Once you get back your, and actually not once you get back your, once you step in court and your matter is called out, you are under the court. You are under the jurisdiction of the court. That then means that they can remand you to station or issue you with a cash bill or a bond. So for that one, then you will pay a different bond altogether. Or just tell you, go and be coming to court. Yes. So
in case you abscond, sorry, before you continue, if I abscond the court session. So I have paid the cash bail and everything. I'm supposed to appear in court tomorrow. But then again, I don't show up in court. What happens?
Okay, there's someone who will just neglect to attend court. And then there is someone who will, for good reason, not be able to come to court. If you are for good reason unable to attend court, please offer that explanation and be prudent enough. You know court is supposed to be tomorrow, and whatever has happened is not an emergency. Send someone to court with a good representative with proper documentation that unfortunately my brother or my sister or whoever was supposed to come to court today, but because of these good reasons, don't tell us work, because don't say that you are called into work.
I was doing a show.
No. you cannot waste court's time, really, because now your life is put on hold for some. But if it's an illness, you are called in sick, or your daughter, you are a young mother, you are a mother, you have a young child who you are the primary caregiver, and they are called in sick, and you have to take them to hospital, or they are bedridden, you can't attend court, then offer that explanation, let it be known. But there are people now who decide, no, mimi hiyo koti wanifunge, I am not going to attend court. What then you should do, what happens then at that point is, on the first instance, because there is no reasonable explanation why, they will ask that a warrant of arrest is placed for you. So the prosecution, because there will be two sides here in the court, there is the prosecution side, this is the person, there is the state attorney who is appointed now to prosecute criminal offences, then there is yourself as an accused person, and your attorney, your advocate in the defense, and then there is the judge. So the prosecution will ask the court to place you, to issue a warrant of arrest, which means that if the police officer who is given that warrant walks out there and finds you, they will take you in and will book you with two offenses. The first one, they will take you back to court for the original offense, and then issue open for you another charge altogether, warrant on the warrant. It's failing to attend court when you are required to attend. If they are not able to secure your presence in court, they are unable to arrest you. Maybe you have run away, you have hid, or we uko kichakani tu, umeenda mafichoni. What the matter will be called yet again, maybe after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, and eventually they will forfeit your bond terms. If you had deposited 100,000 Kenya shillings, they will forfeit that amount to the state. So if somebody has placed their title deed as bond, as security for your attendance before court, that person will be tasked to bring you to court. If they fail to bring you to court, then the bond terms are cancelled, and they do not give you the title deed or the logbook to your motor vehicle, or whatever document that you had, whatever security you had offered to the court, until you are able to raise, because the bond is to a specific amount. You are told bond terms of 500,000 with a surety of a like amount. So 500,000, pay to court 500,000 for them to release your title deed. For some offenses, they will even tell you, we need you to bring that person. You said you will make sure that they attend court. Bring him. But on the worst of worst, they will ask you to pay 500,000. Don't tell us you can't find them. You are the one who decided you are going to place your property and yourself as their security to ensure they attend court. Then make sure that they attend court. If they continue not attending court, you have amejificha kabisa, and there's nothing else that police officers, nothing the sureties can do about it, or nobody knows their whereabouts. At some point, the court will not proceed acting in vain. So the officer, the prosecution, will ask to withdraw that matter under Section 87A. Mostly that specific act is used, or that specific section of the law is used when you want to withdraw the matter, but you can be able to reinstate the matter if evidence or the accused person is able to be arrested, or there is more evidence that you want to adduce to court. So kupotea does not mean that it is done. No, if we catch you, and we will do.
The
officers are very diligent.
The arm of the government.
It will catch up with you.
Eventually.
There's a phrase from where I come from, where they say that the law is able to uproot coffee. It's Kikuyu. The law is able to uproot.
You can imagine uprooting coffee.
Coffee is quite something that was valuable, but the law comes and says uproot, and you will uproot.
That's
so
the law.
Mkono wa serikali ni mrefu.
Ni mrefu.
Na makucha yake ni makali.
Yes.
And I see Gloria, your beautiful wife, this is Joshua's wife, watching the show from Kabati. This is very insightful and informative. Thank you for bringing us this segment. This is so beautiful. So this is Gloria, Joshua's wife. Beautiful. Amazing.
How can one get a lawyer?
Kama hana
Like,
kabisa.
Sika Gloria alipata.
Oh my.
Gloria should come to the show and respond to that turn.
Yeah, so in case you've never had any representation, legal representation, how can one be able to get one?
A legal representation is quite easy because for you to get legal representation just means to put it is a service like the way we get the service of a medical doctor.
Yeah.
You just walk into any law chambers. And if it is somebody you know or you have a referral from a friend, then trust them with your business. If you do not know so much about them, ask around for an advocate, for a good advocate, or if the worst comes to us, just get into any advocate's chambers, any law firm, and get legal representation, because legal representation is transactional.
Yeah.
It is a service, but it's a service for hire. You it's not something that is enlisted somewhere. You go get this and this and this. But it is also important to note that also the law is quite clear. The Constitution is quite clear under Article 50 that you have a right to legal representation. And for people who are unable to secure representation, the state should provide legal representation, especially the serious of offenses and the vulnerable of offenders or the subjects, e.g. a child is accused of an offense, a minor, she's a minor or he's a minor, someone is accused of robbery with violence, murder, those are serious offenses, or this person is a vulnerable offender or subject or accused person. So for that, the court normally provides advocates. We call them pro bono advocates. So there is a pro bono service in Kenya whereby you are given an advocate who will represent you in and out of court for that specific offense and for that period in which you will be going through the criminal justice system, and you do not pay them. They will be paid by the government through the judiciary of Kenya.
Challenge I have had, not challenge, but misconception, is that when you are given a lawyer by the state, they are not overly committed to your case. So I feel as the accused that they are just doing it for the sake of doing it. Unlike when I have come to your law firm and asked you, Joshua, I'm in this situation, present me. So you will be very committed because I approached you and you agreed to come on board. But now for the pro bono, the one provided for by the state, they are just there.
That one is a real challenge. It is there especially because of the issue of remuneration. Because as a pro bono advocate, you are just paid some little facilitation, which might not even be forthcoming. You might wait and wait and wait and wait. It's not coming around. I think there needs to be a very proper and a holistic approach, and the judiciary and the Law Society of Kenya should be able to look at that issue, because at the end of the day, the person who suffers is not really the advocate. Because as much as if the pro bono fee is not coming through, I will be having other things I am doing. I will be looking for clients all over. I will be dealing with conveyancing matters. So the person who will be suffering is the accused person who has been granted that pro bono advocate. However, that does not mean then that for the advocate they should relax or be incompetent or not give it their all, because it's also a way of giving back to the society. It is nice and it is good, and as a believer, I believe that it is proper for you to also do it your best, serve as if you are serving a heavenly master. That is what the Bible says. So it is proper for the advocate, as much as times are hard, as much as that fee has not come in, if you decide to take an accused person on pro bono basis, you made that decision. If you are not in a position to pick a pro bono matter, then do not. But it is good to reevaluate and think that this person might be it might be an actual need, a dire need. There are people who really need that representation, but they can't afford. And now the court has given a way out for you to represent them, and you will get some little fuel for your car, or something to make your printing for your documentation and everything else easier. It is proper for you to know that that need is real. It is actual. It's an actual need. So give it your all. As much as you might be constrained, give it your all. But don't overburden yourself. You have 100 pro bono matters that might not be paid out in time. So your tenant, where you have based your farm, or the landlord, you are a tenant, the landlord comes and knocks on your door, and you're telling him, no, we have not been paid. You know, the landlord won't want to hear that story. So you shouldn't overburden yourself as an advocate, but also ensure, if you decide to pick up a few, 2, 3, 4 matters, even 10 in a year, but it's still quite a lot because court process is not as smooth as one might think. It is proper, and it is good for you to be diligent, be competent, give it your very, 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 very best.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that clarification. And time is not on our side. We have to call it a day. But before then, what's your parting shot? And also, how can people get in touch with you?
All right. We are based in Keno. You can reach out to us through our official email, that is wainanjorogeadvocate@gmail.com. You can call us through 0722 652429. That is how you can be able to reach out to us. I think today I will want to take this chance to say hi to my mom and my dad. That is my parting shot. Yes, my mom and my dad, that is the Njoroges, and also my mom and dad too, my mom and dad in love, that is the Irongos. I want to say hi to my beautiful wife, my sister, and my brother Alan, Maina, Nancy, and friends, and the extended family. I salute all of them. I love them so much, and it really takes a community to raise such a young, fine man. I believe so. So shout out to them, my friends and family, all of them, Engineer Wairia. Mimi nimeleta watu wa kwetu huku wote. Nina wasalimu wote, wa Ngombes, wa Thembas, all of them. But as we end it, people should not fear the court. People should not fear the judicial system. It might take a very long period of time, but most the stakeholders involved in the criminal justice system are trying to make it as smooth and as easy, as simplistic as possible. So do not fear. Just because you have been arraigned in court does not mean you will go to committee. No. And then the other one, I need to say this, and I'm sorry if I'm taking much of the time. It is important to know, just because you have been taken to court, that it is not a must that the matter is finalized in court. You can elect the offender and the complainant, or the accused and the complainant can elect to have their talks on the side. Let us agree. You have charged me. You have complained I stole your goat. I won't say I stole your goat, but can I pay you 3,000 shillings to malizana hii maneno? Instead of you wasting your time and me wasting my time, let us just come amicably. You are my neighbor. You say that I insulted you. From today, I will not even knock on your door. So can we agree to settle? That is allowed. We have an alternative dispute resolution system in Kenya that is very robust, and that is very much celebrated in our country. So people should not fear. People should be able to proceed and know that being taken to court does not mean it's the end of the road. No, it's not. It's not.
Thank you, Wakili Joshua.
Asante sana.
For that clarification, for that message. Thank you so much. Don't fear the judicial system, but two, you can choose alternative dispute resolution mechanism also to sort out your matters outside court. Thank you for that insightful information this morning. This has been Law Logs right here at Hope TV. This is where we watch and live. We appreciate you so very much as well for your company. Share this link with anyone else who was not able to tune into the show today. From me, George Gishuru, wishing you a fruitful and a blessed day ahead.
And my name is Beatrice Watare. See you tomorrow on One Day at a Time. And I think what Wakili has said that is very much biblical. Before you go to court, I mean, let us settle this matter. It is better. We get to maintain our relationship as well. So yeah, let us now end the show. But I do hope to see you again tomorrow. My name is Beatrice Watare. Have yourself a good day.